Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, and Pat Gallagher retires Greer on the ground out to begin the fifth, bottom of the fifth here. As Gallagher's first offering to Dom Johnson is in for a strike. 0-1 the count here with one out. And Gallagher's looked pretty good here, working in his fifth frame. Ross Dunn getting hot in the bullpen as that pitch is fouled back. So a 0-2 count. And 2 strike counts, they've been pretty common today for Gallagher. 10 strikeouts, working in his fifth inning. 4 1/3 tossed for the right-hander and 10 Ks recorded. And maybe he gets another here. The 0-2 pitch. Misses high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Johnson, and the pitch. And Johnson stays alive. He just got some lumber on it to keep alive. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Still with 1 away, nobody on. Bottom of the fifth, a 1-0 lead for the Red Sox. Hyannis, the 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and Gallagher records another, his 11th strikeout here in the bottom of the fifth, and there's 2 outs.
Well, we saw Pat Gallagher, Tom Vasella, and Scott Pickler talking down the first base line after he retired the side via strikeout in the fourth, and we don't know what the conversation was about. We couldn't hear it, but we saw it, and there was a lot of head nodding from Pat Gallagher, and you'd imagine it was a lot of, hey, you're looking really good, you're looking really, really good, let's bring you back out for the fifth. I'm very interested to see the way he's throwing the ball in the fifth inning now, if you get a similar conversation for the sixth with the pitch count climbing up.
Ball hit well to the left side. It's a base hit for Dylan Post. He goes the other way. The left-handed hitting catcher pokes it to left field, and he gets aboard via a 2-out single here in the bottom of the fifth. So the tying run gets on base for Hyannis, and it extends the inning here in the bottom of the fifth. Mitch Hardigan up to the plate. He struck out back in the third looking when Gallagher struck out the side. He's done so 3 times in this game, and he grounds it slowly to the left side. Coming in on it is Ferreras, but he just has to eat it. Hardigan was hustling down the line. He gets to first, and it's Post who singled. He advances to second, so runners on first and second here with 2 outs, and the lineup card flips back over to the top of the order. Caden Rose now to the plate, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Now that's exactly what Hyannis needed. You need to be able to manufacture runs by manufacturing opportunities, and an infield single is a gift, and it was a little lucky that they got it past Pat Gallagher, but now you have arguably your best hitter up in the biggest spot of the game.
Rose to the plate, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. The right-hander with an off-speed pitch, he gets Rose out in front. 0-1 the count.
Ladies and gentlemen, if someone is missing a phone, there is one at the merchandise booth.
No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, 2 aboard here for Hyannis. Bottom of the fifth, 1-0 lead for YD. Gallagher comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Rose, swing and a miss, and now 2 strikes for Gallagher. Through 4 2/3, 11 strikeouts and no walks for Gallagher. Has yet to walk a hitter this season, after having 8 strikeouts and no walks in his first outing. The 0-2 pitch. In there, but no, not in there. It looked pretty close. It just missed. So 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs here with 2 aboard. Bottom of the fifth. Hyannis with the tying run in scoring position. Gallagher looking to finish the frame and strand a pair. Bottom of the fifth. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Caden Rose. Gallagher comes set, and here comes the 1-2. Misses low, and it's going to be Post who advances to third after the ball scooted away from Baez. So runners now on the corners with 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. And Gallagher working here against Rose. Baez comes out of his squatting position, gives some signs to the infield with runners on the corners. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th, a 1-0 lead for YD as Gallagher comes set. And the 2-2 pitch to Rose misses low. The count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes here with 2 outs. And Gallagher working with Ross Dunn, the left-hander, getting hot in YD's bullpen. The tying run 90 feet away for Hyannis. Gallagher gets the signs and comes set. And the 3-2 pitch. Grounded to the left side. Lou comes up to glove it, throws it over to first, but it can't be dug out by Bowser. A run comes across, and we're tied here in the bottom of the 5th after it's Post who comes around to score. On the ball struck to the left side. It was fielded by Lou, but the scoop not made over at first by Bowser. So first and second after runners on first and second, it's a 1-1 score after Hyannis ties it.
It looked like Lou got tied up by himself there. He was charging in. I think he thought it wasn't hit nearly as hard as it was. So already he was off balance, and then the spin had him crossed up, and I think the entire play was off equilibrium, and it ended with a throw.
It was ruled a hit for the Harbor Hawks when I look at the scoreboard. No errors on the scoreboard. And when I look in point streak, same story. They say the Harbor Hawks have 4 hits, and that ball's hit to the right side and caught by Bowser. So after the Harbor Hawks get a couple hits in that inning, maybe one more than our liking, nonetheless, it's a 1-1 score. YD and Hyannis tied after 5. We send it to the 6th on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein, Will Connerly here with you, and David Furtado on the mound for Hyannis, the left-hander out of Wake Forest from Atlantis, Florida. 6'4", 190, and making his 3rd appearance of the season. The prior 2 outings, He went 3 innings in both of those outings. Most recently, he pitched on the 26th. So last Saturday, he's had plenty of rest. And he pitched against Chatham 3 innings and 2 earned runs. 6 innings, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks so far on the season as Baez fouls that ball to the right side on the 93-mile-per-hour fastball by the left-hander from Wake Forest. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Nate Baez. 3, 4, and 5, 2 up for YD here in the top of the 6th. And the score is tied after it was Hyannis who was able to plate a run last half inning. Ball hit over to third. Luke Mann throws it, and then the tag is applied by the first baseman, Mason Greer. And there's an out recorded here in the top of the 6th. And Luke Mann's been busy over at the hot corner today. That's the 4th time a ball's been hit his way, and he's had to make the 5-3 put-out play.
And not the first time that the throw's been very high, and Mason Greer has had to come off the bag and do him a favor.
Swing and a miss on the first offering to Chase Luttrell. The lefty-lefty matchup as the left-hander throws the fastball by him on the first pitch. And the 0-1 to Luttrell. Breaking ball misses slow. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Here in the top of the 6th, the 1-1 score. 4 hits for the Harbor Hawks on 1 run, 3 hits for YD on a run as we're tied here in the top of the 6th. Furtado comes sent, delivers the pitch, it misses high. 2 balls and a strike. As the Harbor Hawks have had some hard throwers out of the bullpen. Adamiak up to 94, and the left-hander has been sitting in the low 90s as well as he throws the fastball for a strike against Luttrell, and it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Here in the top of the 6th, nobody on, and the pitch to Luttrell. Breaking ball gets in the strike zone. Luttrell knew it. It drops right into the frame for strike 3, 2 outs in the top of the 6th.
That might be the nastiest pitch we've seen all day. 12-6 curve from the lefty on Luttrell. And he didn't even flinch, not because he was waiting for a fastball. It's just because he saw the pitch and said, there's nothing I can do with that pitch. So hopefully it's called a ball and we move on.
The first offering, a swing and a miss by Cody Huff. He was aggressive. The pitch was in the dirt and called or swung through for the first strike. So nothing in 1 the count. As Furtado has come out of the bullpen and made some pretty good pitches. That pitch to Luttrell, as you mentioned, extremely nasty pitch. And the 0-1 pitch to Huff. He fouls it off his lower body. So nothing in 2 the count. The 0-2 from Furtado misses low. A ball and 2 strikes.
And Cody Huff had the single in the 4th inning, the ground out in the 1st. And this should be a favorable matchup for him, but he gets behind 0-2, and now it's advantage Furtado.
Breaking ball, though, misses low. Post went down to block it. And it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's just a great take by Cody Huff. Back-to-back breaking balls in the dirt that he just saw his roommate Chase Luttrell strike out on.
As Huff stays alive once again, he fouls the 94-mile-per-hour fastball back to the screen. 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 2 outs. Top of the 6th, 1-1 score, nobody on. And Cody Huff here against Furtado. Huff is 1 for 2 today as he fouls it back. In the top of the 4th, he singled, and then he was running when Chase Luttrell was on third base. Huff was on first base. Huff was off to the races. It forced a throw by Post down to second. Luttrell came around to score. Huff got a little aggressive and tried to go all the way to third. He was thrown out, but YD did take the 1-0 lead at the time. And now Huff singles up the middle. Ground ball hit hard towards center field. And Huff has a 2-out knock, his second hit of the day here in the top of the 6th.
That's the best at-bat we've seen today from either side. Okay, so he goes down 0-2, and then the 12-6 curve by Furtado, he gives him bait in the dirt, and Huff doesn't even flinch in either one of them. Two great takes. Then he fouls off two really good pitches, stays alive in the count, doesn't try to do much, and in a very long war of attrition at-bat, ground ball up the middle.
Now Bowser on the first offering fouls it back. Struck out in the second, walked in the fourth. And you're right, a great at-bat by Cody Huff, his second hit of the day. Back-to-back at-bats, he singled. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. And the pitch from Furtado misses outside. He tried to go to the off-speed, and Bowser didn't chase off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, 1 runner aboard for YD as we're tied here in the top of the 6th. The pitch from the left-hander. Bowser fouls it off to the right side and out of play. Bowser in his first game against Chatham, last time YD was in action, because yesterday all the Cape Cod games were washed away and canceled due to the weather. It was Bowser who was at third base today at first. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Furtado comes set, delivers the pitch. The breaking ball misses low, so count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Huff on first base after he singled up the middle, and Bowser at the plate. Zach Liu would be next if Bowser can extend the inning. And the 2-2 pitch. Grounded to the left side. Mann comes up on it, throws it over to first, and it is the stretching catch made by Greer at first for the 3rd out. Another play made at the hot corner for Hyannis, and we're tied 1-1 as we go to the bottom of the 6th next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein with Will Connerly here. And Ross Dunn now has entered the game for the YD Red Sox. What an outing from Pat Gallagher. He pitched the ball very well today for YD. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, but 11 strikeouts and no walks for Pat Gallagher today. And he turns the ball over to the lefty out of Florida State, Ross Dunn.
And it's a time for Ross Dunn to really back up Gallagher here. He did his part, and the offense trying to catch up as well.
Dunn facing 3, 4, and 5 in the Harbor Hawks order. here in the bottom of the 6th against Luke Mann, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. After Gallagher was really able to rack up the Ks through 5 frames. Was able to K 11 hitters in the lineup for Hyannis. 1 ball and 1 strike here to Luke Mann. This is high. Luke Mann's been active over at the hot corner. Made a really nice play to end last half inning. Seen a lot of balls come his way. As Ross Dunn, the 6'3", 225-pound lefty, tosses it in there, foul back. Dunn making his 3rd appearance of the year for YD. 4 innings, 8 strikeouts, and just 1 walk and just 1 hit allowed through his 2 outings. The breaking ball misses high, so the count runs full here to Luke Mann. 3 balls and 2 strikes in the bottom of the 6th. Each team with 1 run, each team with 4 hits as well. And here comes the 3-2 pitch to Mann as he fouls it out of play. Mann 0 for his last 9. Including today with 2 Ks, and make it 3 as he swings through the high fastball. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th after the fastball registers 95 miles per hour, and a nice pitch made by Ross Dunn. Cade Hunter behind the plate, and it's Baez who moves over to first. Hunter enters for Bowser after to make some changes, but a nice job by Ross Dunn hitting 95 on the fastball, and Mann strikes out for the 3rd time. That brings up Marcos Pujols.
And believe it or not, I think Ross Dunn is in the game right now to face this guy, Marcos Pujols. He was really rocking Pat Gallagher in his last at-bat, put 2 really good swings on the ball, had the screeching single to right field that would have been a double for anyone else on the roster. He doesn't run extremely well, but also had a really loud foul ball down the right field line.
And now has a 5-game hitting streak. And the 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss, a healthy hack and a 95-mile-per-hour fastball that the Dayton Flyer swings through. 2 balls and a strike, 1 away, bottom of the 6th, nobody on as we're tied here in Hyannis. And the 2-1 from Dunn, swing and a miss once again, another healthy hack. Pujols got his money's worth on those last 2 swings. Tried to deposit the ball over the fence, aiming to hit it hard and swinging with full intent on those last 2 offerings. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch from Dunn. He got him looking as he punches out Pujols on 95, as it was Pujols who just watched it go by, and back-to-back strikeouts to begin the 6th for the reliever, Ross Dunn. He's picking up where Gallagher left off after he threw 5 innings and just surrendered a run while registering 11 strikeouts.
That's now 13 strikeouts for Hyannis hitters. An unacceptable number, and the fact that they're even in this game is a miracle.
Romano at the plate. Pitch misses high from Dunn. And they're in the game because they scored. They're able to come around in the 5th when they had 3 hits during that frame.
Just for reference, though, there have been 17 outs made by Hyannis hitters, and 13 of them have been strikeouts.
A high number, and it's Gallagher who was able to start off that trend, striking out the side in the 1st inning. And he did so in the 3rd as well.
That's over 76% of the outs via the strikeout.
It's Ross Dunn trying to strike out the side. The side was struck out in the first, the third, and the fourth, all by Pat Gallagher, but Dunn trying to do his part here in the sixth. Has a 3-ball, 1-strike count to Romano here in the bottom of the sixth. And the lefty delivers the 3-1. This is high. Romano reaches on the free pass, and that extends the inning to Mason Greer. YD hitters, on the other hand, they've struck out 7 times. 6 for the starter Nolan, who went 4 innings and surrendered a run. It was unearned after the Hawks have made 2 errors in this one. And then they got a scoreless inning from Adamiak, and the same for Furtado. As Dunn misses on the first offering here to Mason Greer, the left-handed hitting first baseman, who's 0 for 2 today. Now 3 for 26 on the season. Was hitting a chilly 125 coming into this game with no home runs or runs driven in 24 at-bats, and swings through the low breaking ball to even the count at a ball and a strike. With Romano, the second baseman, he reached via the free pass. He's on first. Had a free pass in the second when Gallagher hit Romano. Was a hit by pitch in the second, struck out in the fourth, and now he's on first base in the sixth after the free pass. And he's off to the races. Hunter throws it down to second. The tag is applied, and he's safe over at second. Hunter had his mask off running toward the YD dugout. They thought he got him. The throw beat him there, but the slide, the maneuverability of Romano, he evades the slide and gets into second. And now the go-ahead run in scoring position as Ross Dunn is working with a 2-ball, no-strike count to Mason Greer.
I didn't time it. I don't have a stopwatch. That was by far the fastest pop time I've seen from Cade Hunter, and a good throw, too. I can't believe that they didn't get him.
The 2-1 pitch misses low. Now 3 balls and a strike, and Dunn in jeopardy of walking his second consecutive hitter, Dominic Johnson, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, is on deck. Mason Greer 0 for 2 with a strikeout as well. He's at the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the bottom of the sixth. Ross Dunn comes set. He gets the signs from the new catcher, Cade Hunter. And Dunn's going to take a check over on second. He lifts his leg and then drops it behind the rubber to see if it was Romano who was going to go anywhere. He wasn't. Stays put. Dunn gets back on the hill. Looks in for the signs for Hunter. Comes set, gets his grip. He's at the hip. 1 peek over at Romano. Kicks and the pitch. And it's a strike 3 called. Dunn K's the side, works around a walk, and has a clean frame in the sixth. We're tied at 1-1 as we head to the seventh on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
Back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, Brad Klein alongside Will Connerly here in the top of the 7th inning. And we're tied at 1 apiece between the Red Sox and the Harbor Hawks. And YD scored their lone run in the 4th inning. Hyannis in the 5th, and it's been a pitcher's duel all day. Both teams have 4 hits to their name, and a new pitcher on the mound now for Hyannis. It is the 4th pitcher of the day, and it's Angus McCloskey, the righty from Pace University, a rising senior. And he'll face Zach Liu to lead off the frame. Well, McCloskey did not get much work in at Pace this past season. Only went a third of an inning in 2021 with 1 appearance. Gave up 2 runs, 2 earned runs that is, and 3 runs total in that 1 look. Zach Liu watches the first pitch fastball for strike 1. That was against New Haven. He actually has a lot more work done as a Harbor Hawk this year. 2 appearances, 2 innings pitched, and the last time he pitched came on June 25th. So plenty of rest for McCloskey as Liu shows bunt and pulls back at the last minute. Changeup misses low. Count even at 1-1. In that last look against Falmouth, a 4-3 loss for Hyannis. 1 inning in relief, no runs, no hits, 1 strikeout. And Zach Liu grounds it slowly over to third. Should be an easy play for Mann, who fires it across the diamond in time for out number 1. So 1 away, Zach Liu still looking for his first hit as a Red Sox, and Pascal Ferreras, who is 0 for his last 8 at the dish for YD. 1 out, no one on, tied at 1 apiece. And Ferreras watches the breaking ball bounce low from McCloskey. 1 ball and no strikes for the 6'2", 205-pound senior from Farmingdale, New York. A guy who is Exhibit A of the difference in the Cape Cod League this year. Ferreras lines it into left field. That falls for a base hit. It trickles slicing into foul territory to the Hyannis bullpen, and Pascal Ferreras is on second with a 1-out double in the top of the 7th inning. Well, Pascal Ferreras needed that one badly. He was 0 for his last 10. When you factor in what happened in this game already, a strikeout and a ground out. But now YD is cooking, and a pinch hitter coming in to replace Tyler Williams, who is 0 for 2 on the day. It's Tanner Smith. Now, no surprise that Scott Pickler goes with a fresh face here. Tyler Williams has really struggled throughout the season, and this game really no exception. So Tanner Smith, the Oregon product, getting a look, and I'd say the biggest reason that Smith is priority 1 for Pickler in this situation is that he swings the bat from the left-handed batter's box. Corners pinched in. 1 out, runner on second base, and Smith watches the breaking ball that didn't really break at all. High and outside for ball 1. Well, that was a bad miss by McCloskey, and the only good part about that was that he missed so badly that it missed the zone. But if he missed his spot middle, Tanner Smith was going to give that one a ride. And Smith steps out of the box, avoids the fastball inside. 2 balls and no strike. No strikes, that is. The fastball dialing up to 92 miles an hour to Tanner Smith, hitting a .185 on the year with 5 hits and 27 at-bats. 2 RBIs, though, in a prime RBI situation here. And the 2-0, swung on and missed at the shoulder-high fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike now. With 1 out and a runner on second base after the double from Pascal Ferreras. And McCloskey, breaking ball, is in there for strike 2, so that curveball goes to 72 miles an hour. An impressive drop-off from the 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and that difference is really a deal-breaker for a lot of hitters. And Tanner Smith was paralyzed on the hook. 2 balls and 2 strikes for Tanner Smith, coming off a 1-for-3 day against Chatham. Fastball sails high, so high, it gets away from post. To the backstop it goes, and Ferreras advances to third. Still only 1 out.
That completely changes the trajectory of this at-bat, the approach you have now. Now, you try to hit that sacrifice fly. You try to get that go-ahead run in at all costs. So a huge 90 feet gain there by Pascal Ferreras.
Tanner Smith had an RBI on June 30th against Wareham in a 3-3 tie. Had another RBI in garbage time against Cotuit, a 16-5 loss. And the payoff pitch with 1 out. Line into right center field. That falls for a base hit. Pascal Ferreras advances. He will score. A 1-out RBI single for Tanner Smith in pinch hitting duties. And YD takes a 2-1 lead in the top of the 7th.
Great execution there by Smith and coach going to the pinch hitter, and he's able to execute in that situation. A nice job in the late frames by the Red Sox to come back and then take the lead, and it was good execution there. You mentioned the off-speed pitches that were brought in, but it's hit right up the middle, driven well by Smith.
So here's Peyton Graham, who, according to Peyton Graham's standards, is more than due. 0 for 2 on the day, was hit by a fastball, make that a changeup on his left forearm in his last at-bat in the 5th inning. But now it's Tanner Smith on first after the RBI single brought in Pascal Ferreras, who got the 1-out double. So it's back-to-back knocks for YD to get another run across. And the top of the order up now, 1 ball, no strikes to Peyton Graham, hitting .341 going into today's game. 14 for 41 heading into this game. And again, the 0 for 2 not looking great for him. Only has 1 hitless game on the year. That came in an 0 for 4 performance against Brewster on June 28th. The curveball taken for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to the righty from Oklahoma. Another curveball. That one settles in. Identical pitch. And still the bat on his right shoulder. 1 ball, 2 strikes with a runner on first and 1 out.
Yeah, 2 really good breaking balls, and you wonder what you might see here.
Fastball just off the plate, maybe a little low. Count is now even at 2-2. Well, if you believe this, Peyton Graham is 0 for his last 5, which has never happened in his young Red Sox career. Breaking ball, slowly dribbled over to second. Romano fields it, flips it over to first in time for out number 2. But Tanner Smith running on contact. He's on second with 2 outs for Wyatt Hoffman.
It's never happened in his career, 0 for 5, but I mean, it happens to every hitter. Going 0 for 5, you struggle a game, you tailed it into the next game, but nice statistic found there by the research department, which is the MacBook Air.
So here's Wyatt Hoffman hitting in the 2-hole. Had a single in the 1st inning, but was stranded on third. And the fastball misses high for ball 1. So McCloskey might be losing his command a little bit here, the righty from Pace. And Wyatt Hoffman, 1 for 3 on the day. It's Tanner Smith on second base, 2 outs. In the top of the 7th inning, YD leads 2-1. And a breaking ball misses low and away for Wyatt Hoffman, 2 balls, no strikes. Angus McCloskey steps off the mound now. Just trying to get on the same page as Dylan Post, the catcher. Smith runs well off of second base. And with 2 outs, Hoffman watches the fastball for strike 1. It seemed like a get-me-over fastball. McCloskey just had to get into this count, and Hoffman was allowing him to do it, taking all the way. I mentioned before that McCloskey has only had very limited action in 2021. Recorded 1 out against New Haven at Pace, and that was it. He's lapped that performance already, that production and that usage in the CCBL. 3 balls and 1 strike now. The last pitch, a changeup missed by the ankles. Infield is back with 2 outs, and Hoffman watches the fastball sail outside, ball 4. So Wyatt Hoffman draws the 2-out walk. It's runners on first and second with 2 outs for Nate Baez, 0 for 2 on the day. And a mound visit here. With some action in the Hyannis bullpen, you have to wonder if this is it for McGlosky, but the entire infield comes in to discuss. McGlosky discussing now, and it looks like he's trying to motion himself to stay in the game.
McGlosky, with 1 year of eligibility left, just finished his 4th season in 2021 with pace. Mentioned you just got the 1 out in 2021, made 1 start in 2020. In 2019, 14 relief appearances. And in 2018, had 5 relief appearances. So he's had bulk of work at the collegiate level, but just this past season, just a third of an inning, which came on May 2nd.
He wins the argument and stays in the game. First pitch fastball to Baez, taken for strike 1. Well, McGlosky played in 3 games for Hyannis in 2019, a 3.38 ERA. And now ahead of the count, 0-1 with 2 outs, runners on first and second. Nate Baez watches the breaking ball in the dirt. A great block by Dylan Post to shimmy over to his right and keep both runners where they are.
Huge play right there, and you can't take that when you can let people go to scoring position. You got to make those plays.
Nate Baez watches the fastball high for ball 2, so McGlosky has really lost his velocity here. Started the frame off at 92. That fastball elevated at just 88 miles an hour. That might be what the mound visit was a little bit about. Just speculating here. 2 balls and 1 strike, and Baez watches the fastball again, only 88 miles an hour, and he saw it the entire way, takes it high for ball 3. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Smith on second, Hoffman on first, 2 away. In the top of the 7th inning, Whitey leads 2-1. And Baez watches the fastball off the plate, ball 4. Back-to-back 2-out walks drawn by Hoffman, and Baez load the bases for Chase Luttrell. But McGlosky will not be going up against Luttrell. A fresh face coming out from the bullpen for Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks have seen enough. Angus McGlosky gets 2 outs, gives up a run, and loads the bases in the top of the 7th inning, and Chase Luttrell is licking his lips with another righty coming out to face him. Top of the 7th, we'll be right back right here on the Whitey Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connolly, I'm Brad Klein. Still in the top of the 7th inning, 2 outs, and the bases are juiced for Chase Luttrell. YD already got a run in this frame to take a 2-1 lead. Angus McCloskey was relieved, and now a fresh face for Hyannis. On the bump, it's Derek Cherry from Houston. And the righty from the stretch kicks and deals. Fastball misses outside at 94 miles an hour for ball 1, and that should send a chill down all the Harbor Hawk fans' spines. Back-to-back walks. Hoffman and Baez with 2 outs helped load the bases for Luttrell here. Cherry with 3 appearances. Now this is his 4th, and the breaking ball bounced over to first and over under the glove of Mason Greer into right field. Luttrell rounds first. 2 runs come around to score. Make it a third. Nate Baez on his way. He slides home safely, and Chase Luttrell advances to third on the throw. 3 runs come across the score for YD, and the Red Sox lead 5-1 in the top of the 7th. Oh, Mason Greer was crossed up. A wacky bounce, looked like it might have nicked the bag, and he didn't know which way was up.
It's ruled as an error up on the scoreboard. Of course, we got to check because I know earlier in the game we saw a bobble over at third. That was called a hit, but that is an error, Brad. And Luttrell does clear the bases, though, on third.
Here's Cody Huff, who fouls it out of play on the first pitch fastball. So all of those runs are charged to McCloskey.
That's what you want as a cleanup hitter. Clean the base paths, and that's what he did, Brad. In not a conventional way, but hey, you come out with a 4 spot in the 7th and now take a 5-1 lead. That's what you want in the back end of the game for YD.
1 ball and 1 strike now to Cody Huff. Has 2 hits on the day, and Huff has really been fantastic for YD since coming from Omaha. Playing for Stanford, ground ball slowly hit over to Cherry, fields it with his glove side, and flips it to first in time, side retired. But YD takes a commanding 5-1 lead in the top of the 7th inning with a 4 spot. And only 2 hits to show for it, but it doesn't really matter. Chase Luttrell clears the bases thanks to a big error by Mason Greer into right field. It's stretch time in Hyannis, and in the middle of the 7th, 5-1 Red Sox right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th, and YD leads Hyannis 5-1, and Ross Dunn working in his second inning of work. The Florida State lefty was pretty clean in the 6th inning, and when I say pretty clean, I mean really clean. 3 strikeouts to just pile on the strikeout narrative for Hyannis. It's really been an issue.
It has, and Ross Dunn is really effective, and nice to see him continue and get some good work out of the bullpen. A good lefty out of the pen so far this season.
14 of the 18 outs that Hyannis has been responsible for have come via the strikeout. As the first pitch fastball misses inside for ball 1 to Mason Greer, the first baseman, who just made the error that cost Hyannis 3 runs in the last frame. A Bill Buckner-style play, a ground ball that just went right under his mitt into right field with the bases loaded. Everyone was running, maybe hit a little bit harder than Bill Buckner's play. Ended up getting into fairly deep right field, deep enough to advance all 3 runners, and the foul ball hit right over to Cade Hunter in a place he did not want to be hit.
Family jewels right there. Taking a second. Coach Pickler coming out. This is the second time we've seen Hunter get shaken up. It was actually...
Cade Hunter was giving Scott Pickler the thumbs up before he even got halfway between the dugout and home plate.
He shoot him away.
Pickler was intentionally walking pretty slow just to give him a couple of seconds, but Hunter insisted he was fine. That is where close to no padding is. It looked like it didn't hit him necessarily where the padding is, if you catch my drift, but necessarily maybe on the inner leg where there's absolutely no padding. So black and blue for Cade Hunter in the morning with his oatmeal. 1 ball and 2 strikes with no one out. In the bottom of the 7th inning, YD leads 5-1. Mason Greer 0 for 2 on the day, now 0 for his last 10. And the breaking ball got him swinging for strike 3. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Ross Dunn in relief of Pat Gallagher, and the strikeouts continue to pile on. That's now 15 for Hyannis.
And that was coming into this game. They were the worst hitting team in the league, team average of 183 below the Mendoza line, and that is what they've produced today, Brad. 11.5 strikeouts per game is what the team does, and today Pat Gallagher got that done alone in 5 innings. So they've been a little higher today, but they've been high all season long.
So here's Dylan Post, the catcher for Hyannis. Fouls it back to the screen, 0-1. And the lefty from Florida State bends in a breaking ball. That curveball just paralyzing Post. No balls and 2 strikes. Slashed foul out of play. Post is 1 for 2 on the day, singled and scored a run in the 5th. Ground ball over to second. Wyatt Hoffman plays it cleanly on to first in time for out number 2.
Nice job by Dunn out of the bullpen. He's been effective. Trying to complete his 2nd inning of work now. And he has himself a healthy lead as well, a 5-1 advantage after the big 4 spot for YD back in the top of the 7th.
Brings up Mitch Hardigan, the 9th-place hitter, swings through the first pitch fastball for strike 1 at 95 miles an hour.
He's hit that a handful of times today. The lefty from Florida State has an electric arm.
Another fastball, this one at 93, but still too fast for Mitch Hardigan. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. No one on. YD leads 5-1 after the 4 spot in the top half of this inning. Mitch Hardigan from Florida Atlantic, and the lefty swings and misses at the fastball, high cheese, and just too scrumptious of bait. Ross Dunn reeling him in, and strike 3 retires the side. 2 strikeouts in the 7th, and 5 strikeouts for Ross Dunn in 2 innings of work. At the end of 7, it's 5-1 YD right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Happy to be with you for the top of the 8th inning as YD leads Hyannis 5-1. And leading off this frame is Cade Hunter, who came in as a defensive replacement. Nate Baez moved over from catcher to first, and that relieved the duties of Drew Bowser. So that means that Hunter is hitting in Bowser's spot. And swinging and missing at the first pitch, breaking ball from Derek Cherry, who faced 2 batters in the last inning to take over for a struggling staff for Hyannis. Faced 2 batters, one of them got a ground ball over to first. The only problem was it went under the mitt of Mason Greer, the first baseman, into right field. A big E3 cleared the bases. It was bases loaded, a 3-run error, and then eventually got Cody Huff to ground out back to him. 1 ball and 1 strike now to the Houston Cougar. From the windup, first time we're seeing that today from Cherry. Or rather, Cherry, and swings and misses at the slider, does Cade Hunter.
5 runs scored for YD today. Just 1 of them has been earned. 3 errors have really hurt the Harbor Hawks today.
And the 1-2 to Cade Hunter misses low. The changeup skipped by the ankles. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Now Cherry led the Cougars in pitching appearances this past year with 19. Went 2-3 with a 2.85 ERA and led the team with 5 saves. Fastball by the shins for ball 3 at 93 miles an hour. And the payoff pitch to Hunter. Grounded slowly over to second. Could have been a broken bat. Fielded cleanly by Romano. The throw was wide, and Cade Hunter is safe at first.
Broken bat, but he'll take getting on base.
Mason Greer tried to get off the bag and apply the tag behind his back, but he could not do so. And once again, Cade Hunter providing a hard 90 down the first base line. It's a leadoff base runner for YD in the top of the 8th inning for Zach Liu.
The 4th error committed by Hyannis today, ruled an error, but you mentioned it, and you noticed this early in the season. Cade Hunter, he gives you hard 90s every time, and if I know it's called an error there, but if he's not giving a hard 90, it's definitely much more likelihood that there's an out recorded on that play. He was hustling down the line despite just being a weak ground out, or at least a lot of hitters would have thought, hey, it's just a weak ground out. He beats it out. The play had to be made quickly. The rush caused the error.
No balls and one strike after Zach Liu watches the fastball, and the breaking ball misses off the plate from Cherry. So the count even now at 1-1. Cade Hunter on first base after the error by the second baseman Romano. No one out for Zach Liu, still looking for his first hit as a Red Sox. 0 for 3 on the day, 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Infield at double play depth. And Liu swings and misses. The bat goes to the backstop off the brick backstop and bounces off. 1 ball, 2 strikes, a peculiar strike, and Zach Liu missed and lost everything there.
Yeah, the bat leaves his hand and hits off the brick, and Pascal Ferreras is going to give him some pine tar.
He could use his fair share there.
The back just completely let go of it, and it was on the backswing. So the right-handed hitter, Liu, and he's finishing his swing, and the bat slips out of his hand.
Well, the scary part about that is that if that was a Harbor Hawk, it could have decapitated the on-deck hitter. Right to the on-deck circles where that bat landed. And the 1-2 to Liu, misses low. The changeup had Dylan Post to his knees, the catcher, to just keep it in front of him and keep the runner Cade Hunter at first base. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Zach Liu. Right-handed hitter, third baseman for YD. He's been playing a good third base. Can he contribute offensively? From Cal State Fullerton, the 2-2, swung on and fouled back to the screen. We'll do it again.
Liu trying to battle. 0 for 13 on the season so far, aiming for that first hit, as you mentioned, and it will be a good time for it here after Hunter got aboard to begin this frame.
From the stretch, Cherry comes set, kicks and deals, and the breaking ball tails inside for ball 3.
Now with the count full, you wonder if maybe Hunter going to be in motion.
Well, Zach Liu has had his fair share of strikeout problems. If there was a time to hit and run, according to the book, this would not be it. YD up 5-1. Cade Hunter not running. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3 again. Zach Liu goes down via the punch out. He's now 0 for 14 as a Red Sox. And Liu is responsible for the first out. That is his 6th strikeout as a Sox in just 5 games. Brings up Pascal Ferreras, who once upon a time when he came to the plate, it would be strikeout talk, but now it's double talk. Reached on a double in his last at-bat in the 7th inning and takes the chin music high and tight for ball 1 at 93 miles an hour for a close shave.
Man, he got the double you mentioned. He has extra base hit power. I'm excited to see if that can't break out here as we progress through the season.
Ferreras bends his knees at the fastball down the middle and watching. 1-1 the count. With 1 out and YD leading by 4. In the top of the 8th inning, Cade Hunter a modest lead off of first base. David Cherry, the Houston Cougar, in his 2nd inning of work. Infield at double play depth. From the stretch, breaking ball misses way outside and low. Goes to the backstop, and even playing it off the carom. Post has no throw to second. Cade Hunter advances easily. Now it's a runner on second with 1 out for Pascal Ferreras.
And Ferreras now trying to trade places over there with Hunter. Had the double last time, and YD wants to continue to have this offense produce 6 hits so far, but not satisfied.
The 2-1 of Ferreras, chopped foul down the third base line. So Pascal Ferreras, who's 1 for 3 on the day, with that double in the 7th, but struck out in the 2nd and grounded out in the 4th. And strikeouts have been a huge part of his resume as a Red Sox. Has 18 strikeouts and has played just 12 games, this one included. The 2-2 to Ferreras. Swung on and grounded slowly over to second. Romano gathers. Belt tie. Low throw. And it gets away from Greer once again. Cade Hunter was running all the way. He trots home to score. Ferreras over to second on the throw. A nightmare scenario for Ryan Romano. And YD strikes again. It's now 6-1 in the top of the 8th inning. Still only one out with a runner on second base.
Did you hear the fireworks here on the 4th of July? But YD has produced those in the last 2 frames. 4 runs in the 7th, 1 more here in the top of the 8th. But again, you mentioned the scenario. 2 errors for Romano this inning, and now you've got 5 errors today for Hyannis. The fielding has not done the pitching for the Harbor Hawks any favors today.
And Tanner Smith watches the fastball by the knees for strike 1. David Cherry just trying to keep Hyannis in the ball game. But Ryan Romano, the second baseman, has stolen the spotlight, and not in a good way. Swing and a miss way in front of the changeup was Tanner Smith. No balls and 2 strikes with a speedy Pascal Ferreras on second base. YD leads by 5 in the top of the 8th inning, only 1 out. Left-handed hitter Tanner Smith from Oregon. Cherry deals, ground ball to the right side and foul.
And of the 6 runs scored, just 1 of them has been earned, and that came last inning. 4 runs scored last frame, and just 1 was earned, but only 1 earned run from the pitching staff for Hyannis, despite YD leading 6-1. 5 unearned runs on 5 errors today.
The 0-2 to Tanner Smith as a runner goes. Misses outside for ball 1. The throw over to third, not in time. It gets away from the third baseman man, and Pascal Ferreras gets back up in a hurry and trots home to score. It's the second run of the frame for YD. They now lead 7-1, and sloppy play all over the infield for Hyannis once again comes back to bite them.
Wow, and again, another error, another earned run. Unearned run, 6 errors, and now a run coming across. It's another one for YD. It's just really sloppy play.
Tanner Smith fouls it back to the backstop. Will do it again at 1-2 with 1 out. And the base is now clear as YD is teleported to a 7-1 lead. They put up 4 in the 7th and now 2 and counting in the 8th inning. And 3 errors and counting for Hyannis in this frame. 2 of them came from Romano, the second baseman from Florida State. Should be noted, by the way, he only made 2 errors this past year at FSU. That was all season. The breaking ball got Tanner Smith looking silly way out in front for strike 3. 2 gone after the second strikeout of the inning for David Cherry. Gets Tanner Smith, and Peyton Graham, the leadoff hitter, will try to keep this inning alive. 2 outs and no one on. So Romano, as I mentioned, only had the 2 errors this past season at Florida State. And he really emerged as a utility guy that could be used all over the infield. Played some third, played a lot of second. And for Florida State, fans maybe watching or listening at home, they might be scratching their head because this is unlike Romano. 1 ball and no strikes to Peyton Graham, and now 2 balls and no strikes as 2 consecutive changeups missed low by his shins.
And it's also uncharacteristic of Hyannis. The Harbor Hawks only had 5 errors committed all season through 10 games, and now they've committed 6 tonight.
Peyton Graham checked his swing. Did he go? No.
And so we knew their hitting was worse in the league, their record was worse in the league, and their pitching wasn't great either, but their defense actually was pretty solid. Just 5 errors through 10 games, but scratch all that tonight. It's been everything but with 6 errors and 6 unearned runs.
Peyton Graham watches the fastball low for ball 4. A 2-out walk for Peyton Graham puts a runner on first for Wyatt Hoffman in the top of the 8th inning, as YD has already scraped together 2 runs on sloppy play by Hyannis and hands all over hips. In the infield and in the outfield, the Harbor Hawks look defeated, and a mound visit coming up. This might not be a pitching change, though. David Cherry looks like he might still stick around. There is action in the Harbor Hawk bullpen. And this is just going to be a mound visit. The pitching coach comes out to talk. Peyton Graham on first base. That's the good news, by the way, for Peyton Graham, is that he's reached base safely twice today. The bad news is he's in line for just his second hitless game as a Red Sox. So there's that.
Yeah, Peyton Graham, of course, hitters are going to go have their ups and downs through a 40-game season, or I guess less than that, because with the rain out yesterday not being rescheduled. But the point being, hitters go through those stretches where they're not putting good swings on the ball, and if it continues, sometimes you put different things in store, and just getting on base, that's a good sign, and that can sometimes get you out of a funk, even if it's an 0 for 5, an 0 for 10, and it can kind of help you reset.
2 outs and a runner on first for Wyatt Hoffman, inheriting a 6-run lead in the top of the 8th inning, and David Cherry from the stretch delivers a fastball low for ball 1, an identical pitch to the one that walked Peyton Graham with 2 outs a minute ago. Cherry comes set, kicks and deals, and misses outside on the fastball again. 2 balls and no strikes to Wyatt Hoffman. Now, Cherry actually spent time as a two-way player, now really starting to dedicate himself as a pitcher. In 2020, played as a two-way hitter, left field, some DH. Big swing and a miss by Hoffman. 2 balls and 1 strike on the 91-mile-an-hour two-seamer. But after 2020, he hit just a .172 with a .241 on-base percentage, went 5 for 29. That's when he really started to dedicate himself to the mound, because while he was struggling at the plate, he had a 1.86 ERA. So he read the writing on the wall. 2 balls and 1 strike, grounded sharply over to third, backhanded my man. The throw across the diamond in time, signed retired. But YD smacks on a pair. 2 more runs in the top of the 8th inning puts YD up 7-1. And you're listening to Red Sox baseball on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Positioned down the first base line here from McKeon Park in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Harbor Hawks have some work to do. Against Ross Dunn, the lefty from Florida State, they trail by 6, and that is really nothing, no one to blame besides themselves. They have 6 errors in this game and 3 in the past frame that allowed 2 runs to come around to score. And Ross Dunn, first pitch curveball, misses low for ball 1.
Dunn has really been solid out of the bullpen, and solid pitching today from YD. I mean, Gallagher, great. Dunn, nothing different.
Caden Rose now even with Dunn at 1-1 as the fastball nicks the inside corner. Now, Caden Rose came into this game as the leading hitter for the Harbor Hawks at just 243. And if that sounds bad, it kind of is. But then again, Hyannis is the worst offensive team in the CCBL, according to the numbers. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And the pitch, breaking ball misses low, blocked by Cade Hunter in the dirt, and no flinch by Caden Rose.
Last time Dunn was on the mound, the 28th. Last Monday against Brewster, 2 2/3 and 5 strikeouts. Second consecutive game, he's had 5 strikeouts out of the bullpen. He's been really good today.
Popped up, foul ground, and out of play. On 2 balls and 2 strikes to Caden Rose, who is now 0 for 5, over his last 5, I should say. That came after a 7 for 17 streak over 4 games. So he is dipped off and cooled off. 2-2 misses way high for ball 3.
But Dunn in his third outing, you know, he had 3 strikeouts his first outing, 5 his second outing, and 5 right now, working in his third frame. His strikeout stuff, I mean, there's no surprise when he can throw 95.
And the payoff pitch fouled off the left ankle of Caden Rose, and that one dialed up to 94.
And he's working, Brad, now, a reliever in his third inning of work, and the velocity hasn't dropped off. Still in the low to mid-90s, and the left-hander with a good breaking ball as well. You mentioned that Hyannis has their work cut out for him. Well, they definitely do. A 6-run deficit with Dunn on the mound as well.
And the payoff pitch popped into foul ground. On for a look is Baez. It's out of play and beyond his reach. So Caden Rose lives to see another pitch. Well, to your point, the most work that Ross Dunn logged in this past year at Florida State, 12 appearances, was 3 1/3. So we're getting to a point where Dunn is kind of getting to uncharted territory here.
Yeah, short relief guy, but a guy who you wonder what his stamina is like. He primarily has the 2 pitches in the fastball and the curveball, but they're both really darn good pitches.
Payoff pitch, he goes to the fastball. It's popped foul, out of play.
And that's the highest velo I've seen registered
96.
from the lefty today.
I'll tell you what, that might be the highest velo I've seen from the team.
Team this year, yeah. Ross Dunn up to 96, letting it eat. The left-hander throwing hard today. And this again, Brad, in his third inning, he's actually throwing harder as the game progresses.
The 3-2 misses upstairs, ball 4 at 94. So a leadoff walk for Caden Rose, and hopefully for Hyannis. There's more where that came from in the bottom of the 8th inning, trailing by 6. Kyle Ball, the shortstop, 0 for 3 on the day. Has hits in 3 of his last 4 games, and this might be his last opportunity to stay hot. Ross Dunn cleaning off his right cleat. And now readjusting the rubber with his left foot. Working from the stretch. Comes set at the belt. Takes a deep breath. You can see the breath here at McKeon Park today. Something I didn't think I'd ever see, but I saw a little bit of fog from the mouth. Yeah, it's a little chilly here. We're both in sweatshirts, and just lucky to get this game in as the breaking ball is in there for strike 1. Slide step delivery and the breaking ball again, chased low, and looking silly on that one.
Yeah.
Kyle Ball went fishing.
Well, you talk about, it's chilly. You can see his breath. But Ross Dunn, when he's lighting up the radar gun and then dropping off hammers like that, I mean, that's just 2 nasty breaking balls in this at-bat. Ross Dunn is really getting on top of his pitches today.
And the 0-2 from Dunn. Chased upstairs for strike 3. The strikeouts continue to plague Hyannis. That's now 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
That's now 6 strikeouts through 2 1/3 worked by the left-hander, the hard-throwing left-hander out of Florida State, and racking up the strikeouts. 17 strikeouts for YD pitching and just 2 walks here in the 8th right now, combined between Gallagher and Dunn.
Big swing and popped foul. Luke Mann rides the fastball and trying to avoid the golden sombrero. 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. He's seen that strikeout number, and he's more familiar with this trend tonight than anyone else. It's Caden Rose on first base. Hyannis down by 6, 7-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the breaking ball misses outside and high. 1-1 the count now to Luke Mann. Well, it's 17 strikeouts, and only 22 outs have been recorded total by YD. And Ross Dunn deals, misses low and away, and a nice block by Cade Hunter to keep Rose at first base. Not that there's really much of a reason for Rose to run, and granted this is the 8th, they'll have the 9th inning, but Caden Rose's run means close to nothing at this point. Ross Dunn still playing around with now his left cleat. A lot of dirt and gook between the spikes. That's what happens with all the treatment that this field received before the game. The 2-1, fastball right down the middle at 93, count even at 2-2 now.
Dunn, I like his mound presence, the deep breaths, the focus, the locked-inness of Dunn right now. I mean, it shows with the way he's been able to get results out of the bullpen today.
And time is called after a long hold by Ross Dunn. He was just staring down Caden Rose. So it's still Rose on first. He reached with a leadoff walk. And the high fastball misses just like that high. Luke Mann was not going to chase that one, so the count is full. The second full count of the inning that Ross Dunn has endued. Action in the Red Sox bullpen behind him. The payoff pitch, fastball by the shoulders, ball 4. So 2 walks drawn by Hyannis batting. Ross Dunn walking the first and third batters of this inning. That's runners on first and second for Marcos Pujols, the DH, who you can make the argument is, today at least, the most dangerous hitter in the lineup.
Yeah, had a hit in the 4th. Good hit off Gallagher. And now on a 5-game hit streak, but a long way that Pujols is going to have to, not just Pujols, they're going to have to pass the baton on a handful of times to try to completely come back in this one.
1 out, runners on first and second, and Pujols waves at the changeup in the dirt for strike 1. While Marcos Pujols has 1 extra base hit on the year. It was a home run against Falmouth on June the 27th, and a home run here would completely change the dynamic of the game, make it a 3-run ball game, and allow Hyannis to at least try and really make a move here. Ross Dunn not happy with every inch Caden Rose takes off of second base. Another changeup. This one misses low and away.
That breaking ball, though, that 12-6 action on the breaking ball from Dunn has been really on today. I mean, he hasn't thrown too many bad breaking balls. He hasn't missed too much with it. He keeps it in the dirt, gets those bad swings because it's just looked really good today out of his hand.
Count even at 1-1, and Pujols waves again at the breaking ball. There's the curveball.
That's nasty.
It looked like the previous pitch was a changeup that tailed off. That was the curveball that had Pujols' head high and the barrel very low.
And he'll probably dial it up high in the zone here, 94, 95.
Now he walked 2 batters on that elevated fastball. Something that Pat Gallagher had a lot of success with, had 11 strikeouts to his name.
And no walks.
2 walks for Ross Dunn in this inning, though. It's Caden Rose on second base, Luke Mann on first. Both reached on walks. Marcos Pujols has a single. Came in the fourth inning. He's 1 for 3 on the day. And the power hitter checked his swing, didn't matter. He held up, and the breaking ball sliced the zone. Strike 3 called. The second strikeout of the inning for Ross Dunn, the 18th racked up by YD pitching of the day.
And the 7th for Dunn, now trying to work his third complete frame of work out of the bullpen. Gallagher with the 11 Ks in 5 innings of work now has 19 strikeouts on the year and no walks in Gallagher. And now you flip that over to Dunn, 7 Ks, and now trying to finish his third inning of work.
First pitch fastball down the middle for strike 1. Well, if you're interested, Ross Dunn with 7 strikeouts. He had 15 in all of 2021 for the Noles.
And he's had 7 today, had 5 in his first outing, and 5 last outing, and 3 in his first outing.
Popped foul on the 0-1 fastball by the righty Ryan Romano, who could really use an opportunity to redeem himself. In the 8th inning, made 2 errors that were largely responsible for the 2 insurance runs that YD tabbed on.
He had 15 strikeouts in how many innings? 12 2/3?
Yeah.
He has 15 this season now.
Big swing and a miss. Strike 3. 3 pitches and 3 strikes and 3 strikeouts in the 8th for Ross Dunn as he retires his fellow Seminole. At the end of 8, Ross Dunn helps YD to a 7-1 lead heading into the 9th right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Top of the 9th inning on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Glad to be with you. And in the 9th inning, YD goes with a pinch hitter to start. It's Drew Compton in for Nate Baez. His day is done. Reached base twice with 2 walks. Was 0 for 2 on the day. And Drew Compton takes the first pitch fastball off the plate for ball 1 against Daniel Lloyd, the righty from South Carolina. Lloyd threw 41 innings, even at the real USC this past year. A 3.07 ERA, and the changeup misses inside. 2 balls and no strikes now.
The real.
Yeah, I said it. I was wondering if you're going to pick up on that.
I was accepted. I picked it up.
I was accepted to South Carolina.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. I was never going to go. Strike one taken at the knees by Drew Compton.
And why is that?
It was an emotional decision to apply. I had no interest in going to South Carolina. Fine institution. Drew Compton chops it over to first, and under the glove again of Mason Greer into right field. Deja vu.
The 7th error committed by Hyannis. Again, they had 5 coming into this game. They have committed 7 errors this game. I mean, it's some pretty...
It's a statistical anomaly, and then Mason Greer to make the same mistake.
And these have been
in back-to-back innings, in basically the 7th inning and the 9th inning here. And that's exactly how Chase Luttrell cleared the bases. 2 E3s in a matter of 2+ innings for Mason Greer at first base.
And it's just, I mean, this is the 6th pitcher used for the Harbor Hawks. All of them have got to be saying, this pitching staff, you've committed 7 errors behind us. We could be in this game. We've allowed 1 earned run today as a pitching staff through 6 different pitchers used. And you guys have just totally taken us out of the contest because of the errors. Obviously, that one hasn't amounted to any runs yet, but still, you don't know what can happen with the leadoff guy getting on and what has happened with all the unearned runs. 6 of the 7 YDS scored.
The 1-1 to Chase Luttrell, chopped foul to the YD dugout. No one out, a runner on first base. It's Drew Compton after the error by Mason Greer, the second one he's committed, the second one of its kind that he's committed today. YD scored 4 runs in the 7th inning, largely in part because of that error by Greer that cleared the bases off the bat of Luttrell as he swings and misses for his 3rd strikeout of the day. Chase Luttrell down on strikes for out number 1 in the 9th inning. So it was Luttrell's ground ball that caused the bases clearing action, and then in the 8th inning, 2 more runs came across, courtesy of 3 errors, 2 of them by Ryan Romano, the second baseman.
And it was Luttrell who got that scoring started for YD in the 4th when he singled, then came around to score on that 1st and 3rd stolen base. But now 1 for 5 on the day with a couple strikeouts, and his night of hitting probably over now.
And here's Cody Huff, who takes the first pitch breaking ball for strike 1. Catcher from Stanford DHing today. Has 2 hits already. Single in the 4th and the 6th. And the fastball just missed the outside corner, 1-1. Cody Huff had 2 hits against Wareham on June 30th. Going into this game, that's all he had to show for his YD career, his young YD career at that. He was 2 for 10 to start, and now 4 hits total on the season. Makes him 4 for 14. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Cody Huff. Compton on first base, and the fastball misses outside for ball 3. And yes, this is a developmental league. This is a showcase league, but with the 7 errors, it not only weighs down on the pitchers like it should, it also weighs down on the infield, the outfield, the body language speaking volumes right now for Hyannis as ball 4 delivered by the Shins to Cody Huff. It's runners on first and second with only 1 out in the top of the 9th inning.
Well, yeah, that's a good point, the body language, because when 1 error is committed and unfortunate series of events leads to a run and then another run, you can start to hang your head. You can start to think about, look defeated, feel defeated. And then when you have that mentality and you aren't prepared, more of those errors can be committed. And it seems as a unit that the Harbor Hawks, that's kind of what has happened today for Hyannis. The infield has really done no favors around the diamond for the pitching staff, and you described that body language. That is a very solid factor. When you feel defeated in the game and the plays aren't made, no matter what the score is, it can feel defeating for a pitcher and your entire team.
1 ball and 1 strike now to Cade Hunter, who reached on an error in the 8th inning. He came in as a defensive sub Nate Baez moved from catcher to first, and Drew Bowser, the first baseman, was relieved of his duties. And the 1-1 is cracked on a broken bat over to Romano, could be two. Flips over to second, relay over to first is in time, got him. 4-6-3 with lumber all over the place, no splinters to show for it, and Ryan Romano with actually a very impressive play in an otherwise unimpressive day at the office for the second baseman. No runs allowed in the top of the ninth inning. To the bottom of the ninth we go as Hyannis trails by 6 right here on the Whitey Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. The Red Sox fans still loud and proud. The Hyannis fans, not so much. It's a 7-1 lead for the Red Sox, and Sam Beck on to finish the job. He goes up against Mason Greer, who's had a busy and troubled day at the office defensively. Offensively, no exception. 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and now ahead of the count 2-0. Once upon a time, McKeon Field was pretty packed, especially considering the weather was a variable all day, as a big swing and a miss at the elevated fastball puts Beck back in the count at 2-1. And that is not the case anymore. A lot of bleachers vacant.
Yeah, a lot of the fans just got up out of here.
Fans gone. And Sam Beck, who's heading to San Francisco in this coming year. Breaking ball is fouled. 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
I think a lot of the fans, they wanted to go tend to some fireworks here on the 4th of July.
Independence Day. Happy 4th of July, by the way. Never talked about that. 2-2 from Beck, grounded up the middle. Ferreras ranging to his left, fires across the diamond in time for out number 1. Nice play by the shortstop, Pascal Ferreras. So Greer is retired for the 4th time today via the 6-3 putout. And Dominic Johnson at the dish, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. So Independence Day, you're going to get back home at about, we'll call it 10:15, 10:30.
Fair.
You going to partake in any 4th of July festivities?
Nah, I'm not.
Too late?
I don't know.
Well, let me just
TBD.
Let me just tell you that there's very little that you can do that's more patriotic and more July 4th-y than watching some baseball. So mission accomplished there as that one is popped foul down the right field line. 0-2 now to Dominic Brown, or rather Dominic Johnson. Elevated fastball misses high by the earlobe of Johnson. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now, but maybe some apple pie. Could be something in the cards, potentially.
I hope. Hey, I hope. If it's there, I'm eating it.
Will Connerly, the vacuum. Number over to first with English on it. Drew Compton, Alligator, grabs it for out number 2. So tailor-made ground ball, unassisted ground out to first. And all of a sudden, Hyannis is down to their final out.
I mean, nice job by Beck. He's gotten a couple outs on ground balls, making his 3rd appearance of the year. Went 2 innings against Katuitt and surrendered 2 earned, and went a 1/3 of an inning against Wareham and surrendered 2 earned. So 2 1/3 tossed coming into this one.
Ground ball over to short. This could be it. Pascal Ferreras, hacky sack. It's rifles over to first in time, and that'll do it. Pascal Ferreras gathers himself just in the nick of time, and YD smothers Hyannis. 7-1 is the final. Strikeouts, the name of the game. 19 for the Red Sox pitching staff. 19 strikeouts to help them get to 27 outs. That is a ridiculous number for Hyannis. Unable to put the ball in play and force YD to make some plays, something that Hyannis didn't do much of. 7 errors, but you do the math and carry the 1. 70% of the outs that YD recorded today came via the strikeout.
Yeah, it's not very good, for the opposing team, but great for the YD pitchers. And how about Ross Dunn? Talk about seeing your breath. Talk about being a little chilly. It wasn't chilly at all for Ross Dunn. 93-96 out of the bullpen. He was letting it eat. He knows a couple of the players on the Harbor Hawks from his school. He didn't care. He wanted to let it eat even more, coming with electric stuff out of the bullpen. 7 innings tossed on the year for Dunn. 16 strikeouts for him through 3 outings, exceeding the whole season of strikeouts is what he had this past year. So great job for YD today, and they'll be back at it tomorrow.
Now Hyannis falls to 2-9 on the year. They're buried in the standings, the worst team in the CCBL. YD improves to 5-3-4, and you're right, Will. They're back at it again tomorrow. This time it's at Red Wilson Field, hosting Falmouth. The first matchup against the Falmouth Commodores of the year. We'll be with you on YouTube Live at 5 o'clock. Catch the pregame show at 4:55 with me and Will Connerly, and we will be with you throughout that action for 27 more outs in the CCBL season. For Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein, signing off from McKeon Park as YD tramples Hyannis 7-1, the final.